So it's rare that we get a story of the, hold on, beautiful, let's get that right, beautiful TMZ. But one has shown up. This is one that dropped somewhere sort of around early last week. And this is just ridiculous. And looking into it, I can see what they're trying to do, but at the same time, yeah, probably not. So, Rockstar, the makers of GTA, are being sued by, let me get the details of them, the Psychic Readers Network. Basically claiming Rockstar's made more than $500 million exploiting the persona of Miss Cleo. But of course they're basically going after them for GTA Vice City, which came out in 2002. Their issue seems to be that apparently the American Psychic Network, Psychic Readers Network, owns the IP of Miss Cleo, even though she died last year. And basically what they're saying is that basically Rockstar 15 years ago hired the woman that plays Miss Cleo, let me get her name, Yore Del Harris, to actually play Auntie Poole. And her voice, they argue, is very similar to Miss Cleo, which, you know, you could argue that it is. And, you know, the attire that she has in the game, and, yeah, her attire looks somewhat similar depending what shots you look at and everything. But the whole argument is, why are they doing this now? I mean, the number one argument I could argue is that she's dead, and because they own the right to the character that she portrayed when she was this American TV psychic in the late 90s, is somehow their property. But then you look into the details, because the issue is that Miss Cleo isn't a real psychic. She was best well known for her Miss Cleo persona, but looking into her details, you know, it's an intriguing story about this lady, Yore Harris. The fact that she was born in LA, raised in a Catholic Caribbean family, attended an all-girls boarding school, then married at age 19, gave birth to a daughter, and divorced at the age of 21. And had the second daughter in her late 20s. And then in the mid-90s or so, her and her partner opened a theatrical production company that did several shows that she wrote in Seattle. And the last project wasn't successful, and basically she left town with a whole load of debts and broken promises, at least according to one of the local papers, the Seattle Post-Intelligencer. Is that even a word? You know, some of the cast say that they were never paid, and she told them she had bone cancer and medical costs to prevent her, but she did write each actor and crew member a letter telling them how much money that she owed them. So then, in the late 90s, she began to work as Miss Cleo for the Psychic Readers Network. Basically, she was an infomercial psychic saying that she was a mystical shaman from Jamaica. And the network's website said that she was born in Trelawney, Jamaica, and had grown up there. The issue is, the company sent unsolicited emails, some of which apparently stated, quote, "Miss Cleo has been authorised to issue you a special tarot reading. It's vital that you call immediately." During this, there were charges of deceptive advertising and fraud on behalf of this network. Among the complaints, calls to her were answered by her associates, not actually her, who were just actors reading from scripts, and calls that promoted as being free, people actually had to pay for. And then in 2001, Access Resource Services, doing business as Psychic Readers Network, was sued in various lawsuits in Arkansas, and Illinois, and Indiana, and Kansas, Missouri, New York, Oklahoma, I was right, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Florida, and the FCC, although a latter report said that many customers were satisfied with the service, but the report didn't cite its source. But then, the FTC charged the owners and the promoters of URA with deceptive advertising, billing, and collection practices. Although it is worth noting that she wasn't indicted herself, but the promoters agreed to settle for a fraction of the amount that they took in. And then that's when it was revealed she was actually born in LA and that her parents were US citizens. She wasn't even Jamaican at all. So in and around that time, she did the voice for Vice City for Auntie Poulet, and then did a book, and then she appeared in adverts for a used car dealership in Florida, apparently, and also Fuse apparently used her as a spokeswoman for certain things, the TV network. She came out as a lesbian in 2006, then in a documentary called Hotline, which was looking at telephone relationships between strangers. She spoke about her experiences as part of the Psychic Readers Network on that. Didn't get any big award stuff. It was certainly shown in Toronto Festival and Rhode Island. It won first prize for Best Feature Documentary at the Rhode Island Film Festival, and the Brooklyn Film Festival showed it as well. And it has been on VOD for the last couple of years as well. Just different things with different people. And then the interesting one is she was going to appear in a series of adverts for French Toast Crunch, but the network intervened, saying that it owned the character, so the advertisements basically got canned when this happened. She then died of colon cancer in late July of last year at the age of only 53. But of course their argument is the Auntie Poulet character was basically the character that that she was portraying in GTA, which isn't entirely right, because if you look at the character of Auntie Poulet, she's supposed to be Cuban, not Jamaican. Okay, she may have the same accent, but you know, Michael Caine has the same accent as Danny Dyer. I wouldn't say, you know, there's a similarity. there's a lot of people with a similar accent in all of wrestling and all of media. I'm only bringing up the wrestling because obviously I'm more into that. Both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come from the French part of Canada, so sometimes you hear the French sort of accent drop into their English a little bit. Not by much, but whatever. But I honestly think, if they wanted to do a claim, they should have done it much sooner than 15 years ago. And I swear the only reason they're doing it is because the actress is dead. Because in essence, they've obviously paid her the royalties over the years for, Vice City and everything. Because she was the one that voiced the character. And then, of course, if the idea is the character was supposed to be a parody of her Miss Cleo persona, parody's protected under the First Amendment of not just free speech, but I think parody then drags over into sort of everything in sort of global stuff. If it's deemed a parody thing, it's in more cases than not seen as fair game to be done. Because because the ethnicity of the character is different, and okay, Miss Cleo supposedly worked with dark magic because she was sort of voodoo and everything, but voodoo isn't specifically just Jamaican and whatever. So also, I don't think you'd want the idea of your character of Miss Cleo giving people cups of tea with hallucinogenic drugs to make them do weird shit. In all honesty. So yeah, I can see what they're trying to argue, considering they own the copyright, but I think they've left it too long. And the fact as well that they're claiming that they've made $500 million exploiting her persona is interesting. Because if you look at the sales of that game, which obviously includes the mobile version, the only figures that we have, really, and this may only just be PS2. It's hard to tell. I think so. The PS2 version, because of course it did eventually come out on Xbox and everything, and obviously the mobile ports. But the game sold 17.5 million units worldwide. And that's figures from 10 years ago. And that seems to be just the PS2 ones. That doesn't include PC, that doesn't include Xbox, that doesn't include mobile. And if each of those games was, let's say, $40, $50, $60, the fact that they're saying, it's 500 million, the numbers seem a little bit small. It seems like, but then at the same time, if you think about it, considering the fact that I think you don't have to do all the missions, from what I remember, to do them. You can leave the Cuban and the Haitian gang war as it is and then progress on with the story. I'm trying to vaguely remember playing through it, but Yeah, I think I've seen playthroughs myself, and these are non-glitched ones, because of course there's plenty of glitches that are out there, stating showing them either not doing the Cuban one or the Haitian one. Actually, thinking of it, I completely forgot it. It wasn't the Cubans that Anti-Poulet was. Poulet was the Haitians. And Haiti is not Jamaica. Either way, Cuba isn't Jamaica either, so I don't know. I honestly think this is just a Psychos Readers network trying to get money, because in the social media age, nobody needs telephone calls from a psychic. They can get it all on social media or the internet. I think it might be a last roll of the dice. I don't even know what they do, because I'm not that interested, because I think this lawsuit is rather stupid. You know, Rockstar's statement on it said that these claims are meritless and ridiculous, and they'll vigorously defend themselves with regard to the matter. So let's just hope that the Psychic Readers Network's case is thrown out and there's no case to answer, and, you know, they regret what they've done. Then again, and here's the joke, if they fail, surely if they're psychics, they'd know they failed, so they shouldn't have done it in the first place. Or are they actually admitting that, like Miss Cleo, they aren't psychics and they're just actresses and actors trying to make money? Ooh, tough call.